Cast the ballot of the convention for president for J.D. Greer.
Pastor J.D. Greer is elected to the office of President of the Southern Baptist Convention for a second term.
Suddenly I feel rather scrawny when I'm placing AB. Thank you so very much. Nominations are now in order for the office of First Vice Presidents. And so are there nominees? The chair recognizes Vance Pittman to nominate Marshall Osbury for the office of First Vice President.
It's my privilege to nominate Marshall Osbury, Sr., pastor of Antioch Baptist Church in Fairfax Station, Virginia, for the first vice presidency of the Southern Baptist Convention. As a co-laborer in the kingdom, I've watched this brother in Christ serve as both pastor of his church and president of the National African American Fellowship of Southern Baptists with Christ-like humility. I found him to be a servant leader who passionately follows Jesus and has a strong vision for seeing God's kingdom expanded and reflected locally and globally through cooperative ministries of the Southern Baptist Convention. As pastor of Antioch for the past 24 years, Marshall has humbly and faithfully led his church from a membership of 300 people to now over 1,700 people in the Northern Virginia area near our nation's capital of Washington, D.C. He has mobilized the Antioch Fellowship to join in God's activity in his own community and around the world. He is the kind of leadership and example that we need today. God has given this brother great gifts in leadership, which he continues to share by serving as an assessor on the North American Mission Board's Church Planter Assessment Team in the Capital Region. Marshall is a loving and faithful husband to his wife Robin of 39 years and a loving father and grandfather to his 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Marshall Osbury is exactly the kind of humble servant leader that we need to serve as first vice president of the Southern Baptist Convention in these days. But you don't have to just take my word for it. Hear it from others. Dr. Fred Luter, former president of the Southern Baptist Convention, says, Marshall Osbury is one of the most impressive Christians I have ever met. He is committed to God, his wife and family, his church, and to his affiliation with the Southern Baptist Convention. Because he is a man of integrity, he is well respected by his peers as he now serves as president of the National African American Fellowship of Southern Baptists. Our convention will certainly benefit from the wisdom and leadership of Marshall Osbury as first vice president. Former SBC President Bryant Wright says, I had the privilege of getting to know Marshall on an IMB mission trip to Southeast Asia. As we traveled to extremely remote areas to take the gospel to unreached and unengaged peoples and places, I came to appreciate what a strong, humble ambassador he is. I thank God for Marshall Osbury, his life and his leadership. Now more than ever, we need leaders of character, humility, integrity, maturity, and gospel-centered vision who love God, love people all over the world, and who can faithfully lead us to walk with God and follow Jesus together. Marshall Osbury is that man, and I am proud to ask you to elect him to be the first vice president of the Southern Baptist Convention.
Thank you, Vance. Are there further nominations?
There are none.
Seeing none, I'm going to call on the registration secretary, Don Currence, if you will come and cast the ballot on behalf of the convention for first vice president.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is my honor to cast a ballot on behalf of the convention for first vice president for Marshall Osbury.
Okay.
What is the chair's privilege to be able to announce Marshall Osbury as our first vice president. The introduction of business is now in order. I want to remind you that if you make a motion, please give us a written copy of it to the page that is at your microphone so that they can bring it to the platform. Make sure that your name and the name of your church are attached to your motion. Under the rules that govern our business here together, all motions are referred to the committee on the order of business. Please note that at this time it is in order for us to make motions, but not